For the second week in a row, Monday Night Raw has been really, really good. And now it's making me excited to look forward to it every single week. Where before it was like, okay, it's all right. It's a 3 hour show. I don't know how it's going to hold my attention. By howdy, did they hold my attention this whole way through? They knew where to put things and make this 3 hour show feel not like 3 hours. Oh my gosh. But to hi, all you BC WrestlePod nerds out there, and welcome to another rendition of the Raw Squad Review, your weekly WWE Monday Night Raw review team. I am your host, Mikey, also known as El Jefe, and joining me is my other co-host, finally back from the basement, is Senor Luchadont.
Whoa. I wasn't in the basement. I was helping Nick Nemeth with his title in AAA before he tore his pec. I was doing something. I like that other luchador you have down here. What's wrong with this dude?
It'd be nice to El Butador.
I am not being nice. I'm the original luchador.
Ooh.
I'm the one that started it here with us. What do you mean?
You know, at some point, you two are going to have to come to blows because I personally believe that there's a room for two luchadors, but y'all got to settle it in the ring.
This podcast isn't big enough for two of us.
I'll make sure to pass that message along to El Puntador because I'm
let him know. Let him know. I'll deal with that mini dork later. This is the new guy I got to deal with now.
Oh snaps!
Another luchador? What's wrong? What? You can't beat the luchador.
You heard it here, folks. We're at some capacity, in some form. We're gonna have the two luchadors face off. I need to figure out a way to get them all on the same project because I'm messy and I like to sow chaos. But we're gonna put that to the side for now because we actually got a really great Monday Night Raw to talk about. Again, this week was fantastic. All the stories that we're getting for Money in the Bank. We had a title change. We had an epic continuation to build off of with the debut of the Wyatt 6 this week. And honestly, as much as I'm excited for Money in the Bank, forget Money in the Bank. The road to SummerSlam's looking great. I'm excited. It's about to get on and popping, as the kids say. But without further ado, let's jump right into all the action for today. We kick off Monday Night Raw this week. We find that it is Michael Cole and The Miz on commentary this week. We come to learn later that on the Pat McAfee show today, he explained the reason that he wasn't at Monday Night Raw is because he had to deal with a last-minute family emergency. Condolences to him and his wife. His wife lost her father yesterday night, and so Pat was there to be the emotional support person for his wife. So thoughts and prayers and love to the whole family over there.
Speaking of losing your parents, Roman Reigns' dad just died too.
That part too. So condolences to the whole Na'awi family and Roman Reigns, his father passing away at the age of 74. Love, condolences from BC WrestlePod. We know it's going to hurt. So from here, though, from feeling hurt emotionally, we get a recap of someone being hurt physically because Drew McIntyre comes and cuts off our introduction from Michael Cole and from The Miz. Basically cuts this really quick promo while still holding the bracelet that Drew stole from CM Punk from the previous Friday's SmackDown. And he basically states that he's going to win Money in the Bank and cash in just despite CM Punk. And, you know, he's going to keep this bracelet until Punk does something about it. This was the best way to continue this feud because Drew's like, I'm going to kick off the show. I got 5 minutes. This is where I'm standing on. And then we'll see him later in the evening, which sets up him being in a qualifier for Money in the Bank next week. Yo, that qualifier next week for the last men's spot is going to get out of hand with everyone who's involved.
I think they're going to save Drew for WrestleMania. Drew versus CM Punk, main event at WrestleMania.
You know, I wouldn't put it past WWE to have us wait this long. And honestly, I'm kind of okay with it. If this is the quality we're going to be getting leading into it, I don't mind long term. But we'll talk about Drew and who he'll be facing in the Money in the Bank qualifier.
Dude, Drew's a menace, though. I have your family in my corner now.
I was just like, yo, that was out of
pocket.
Has
his wife and Larry the dog, dude. How could you bring the dog into this?
You know you're doing something right when you cut a promo and you make me want to hate you because you brought the dog into this.
What the dog doing?
Larry the dog. We love Larry the dog in this household. But Yeah, Drew is just a menace of society out here, and I'm just trying to figure out, how much further are we going to push this? Because I'm kind of here for it. Drew is a menace. We'll talk about him later because he has a certain conversation with Scrap Daddy Adam Pearce later. But after we get a recap video of the debut of the Wyatt 6, we get into our first match of the evening, which is Braun Breaker versus Ludwig Kaiser, or the Rizzler, as some internet fans are, because Ludwig is dating Tiffany Stratton.
We had Braun, and Bronson on this thing.
Yeah, we had all the big boys.
Can we have a Braun versus Bronson match?
Do the Spider-Man meme. Be like, who's the real one? Yo, this match was as violent and as vicious as I thought it was going to be.
Dude.
Like, for both of them, holy crap, they killed him.
He made up for that missed Frankensteiner last week with the one he had this week.
Dude, the Frankensteiner that Braun hit this week was awesome. And then Ludwig was setting up to cave Braun's head into the steel steps. Again, both of them were out for blood and they were trying to kill each other.
The thing is they had Ludwig do that. You know how strong that makes Ludwig look? Because Braun's been wrecking face. And then looks like Ludwig is getting ready to kill Braun Breaker. It only took Sheamus coming out of fucking nowhere to bro kick him to stop him.
I've been really enjoying Ludwig on this singles run so far. Like, this man is a menace, and I love every single moment. But as you brought up, as Ludwig was setting up to cave Braun's head into the steel steps, Sheamus comes out and causes a DQ. Then we have Ludwig and Sheamus fighting. Braun and Ludwig all three of them are brawling, which then ends up with someone going through the table. I'm just like, yo, these Braun Breakers broke people in half.
I just saw the group text.
Oh my gosh.
Fucking Jesse, dude. Sorry, I know we're trying to keep it short. I just saw it.
Look, Jesse, I love him. He's so out of pocket, but I'm here for it. So, this match ends in a DQ. Braun destroys Sheamus and Ludwig as he's standing tall at the end of this. And we'll talk about it because Braun's being put in a really interesting prime position. But
yeah, of course he is. It's fucking Braun Breaker, dude.
Right. So, all right, let's go from here. So after this match, we head backstage with the Judgment Day. Damian Priest comes in the first time, and this is where we see that the clubhouse looks a little bit different. Dom is holding a whole entire plate of chicken nuggies. They're playing 2K25 on the PS5. Like,
he's asking us, where do y'all get this? He's like, dude, Liv is sending all this. I don't want, I'm not telling her, not asking her to do any of this stuff. I don't want any of it. But she keeps doing it. And then she sent me this. And he held it up the phone. And everybody during the conversation, his phone goes off. Then he's like, oh, then she sends me this. And he shows everybody in the Judgment Day. And Carlito's, little ass goes,
that's cool.
That's cool.
Damien's like, I'm like, we're still in the PG era. Calm down.
even what did he say? Damien said something in Spanish.
Yeah. Damien said something to the equivalent of, don't be gross, bro. Gross. Like, calm down. But yeah, Liv is working her magic, trying to get in good with the Judgment Day. And the only person who is opposing this is Damian Priest. We'll talk about him later in the evening. But Damian tells Dom, hey, you need to go stop this right now. You need to fix this right now. This needs to stop. This needs to end. And I'm like, but it's the chicken nuggies and the PS5.
He stopped and he turned around. When he sent Dominic back out, he stopped and grabbed the plate and left with it.
Yo, I would too. I was like, listen, I'm like, if I'm gonna end this, I'm taking the plate of nuggets with me. Like, those chicken nuggies were great. Looking like Liv just spent a whole bunch of money on the Wendy's. They look like the Wendy's nuggets. That's how good they looked.
Fire, man.
Oh my goodness, this is crazy. So, before we get into our next match, we have as Lyra makes her entrance, we go backstage and Braun is upset. He's like, I'm tired of Ludwig getting in my way. Sheamus getting in my way. He's yelling at Adam Pearce to do something. Adam's like, no, that's not how this works. You're not getting a title shot. And then Sammy happens to be walking by, tells Braun that you named the place. Anytime, we'll have this match right then. Braun says, how about we do it at Money in the Bank? Sami Zayn accepts. So at Money in the Bank, I can't believe these words are coming out of my mouth so soon, but for the Intercontinental Championship at Money in the Bank, Sami Zayn will be defending his title against Braun Breaker. I'm like, holy crap. Braun Breaker has
Is
not
about
even
to
been
be.
on the main roster that long, and this man's about to have his first main roster championship match. Holy crap.
Well, he's about to have his first mid Raw championship. I don't see Sami Zayn beating him.
Against Sami Zayn, too. Yeah, like, oh my. Braun is
Yes,
just.
Sami did beat Gunther. Yes, but I think they're going to start pushing Sami a little bit more towards this bloodline story.
Maybe. Which, I wouldn't mind. But yeah, so we just got a lot of matches made this evening because we got Sami versus Braun for the Intercontinental Championship. That match is going to slap. So then we get into our next actual match on the card where we have our women's Money in the Bank qualifier, Lyra Valkiria versus Shayna Baszler versus Kairi Sane. And I got to give props to all three of these women because this crowd was kind of not into it, but by the end of it, they were all into this match. This was a really fun match. Shayna doing Shayna things, Kairi and Lyra flying all over the place, but ultimately, Lyra Valkyria, again, not even being on the main roster that long, she ends up picking up the victory, and she is going to be in this Money in the Bank ladder match. Yo, WWE is giving so many great people, like, opportunities in this match that I normally wouldn't see. Like, the men's one, you have Chad, you have Jay, you have Andrade. Like, it's getting out of hand, and then you have Io, Lyra, and Chelsea Green, of all people, on the women's side. Like, Triple H is doing wonders by putting people in the ladder match that we wouldn't expect, and I'm kind of here for it.
He is, but at the same time, he's put like one person in the match. Like, this person is definitely going to be the winner. Like, Jey Uso is definitely winning that briefcase.
Well, I want to run a theory by you when we get to Drew McIntyre and Adam Pearce a little bit later because of the match, the last men's qualifier for Raw next week. I'm like, I don't know who's going to be in it. It's going to get intense. But Lyra picks up the victory here. She's moving on to Money in the Bank. All right, let's get into this because this also was really, really great. So Liv Morgan comes out to the ring and she's basically like in the middle of the ring confessing all the things that she's been doing for Dom and telling Dom that, you can have all of this and mommy doesn't need to know. And then and she's wearing a shirt. This is Daddy's Girl too. I was like, y'all, I can't.
She's out here calling him Daddy Dom.
Yes, I was just so. As soon as she said that, I was just like, okay, something's about to happen. We about to go off the rails. And sure enough, we went off the rails in the best way possible because instead of Dominic Mysterio, Zelina Vega comes out and interrupts Liv Morgan. And Homegirl just Zelina Vega just takes no prisoner and she just murders everyone. She reads everyone for filth. I have a couple lines here. She tells Liv, while you've been chasing Dirty D, I'm like, oh my gosh.
She called him sloppy seconds.
Yeah, Rhea's sloppy seconds. Yo, Zelina got hood in this whole promo, and I'm here for it. Like, holy crap. She and Liv had a really fun back and forth, and Zelina is out here. She's like, look, y'all, you can have Dom, but I want this championship. So Zelina wants to fight Liv for the championship tonight. Liv says no. But she said she will give her the shot. And so next week, as we find out later, it's Zelina versus Liv for that title, which I'm excited. I think it's going to be a fun match with shenanigans. But the most important thing, Senior Luchador, is Dirty Dom comes out. He tries to talk. Of course, the crowd doesn't let him. But he's trying to be Switzerland. He's not getting in the middle of it. Then from here, all hell breaks loose because then Zelina and Liv begin to fight. Rey Mysterio comes out. He pushes
Dominic throws a cheap shot on his dad for some reason.
Which means we're getting Dominic versus Rey on Raw next week too. I'm like, all right then. I'm excited for the women's match. I can't wait to see what we're doing with Rey and Dominic, but
I'm just excited for
Rhea is going to be pissed when she gets back. And I'm kind of here for the messiness. Liv knows what she's doing. It's fantastic.
She absolutely knows what she's doing.
So we get a short...
I wish she was doing it to me.
Oh. Liv is out here doing the Lord's work. And I'm glad that people are finally giving her character a chance because there are some folks on the internet that we have talked about in previous reviews that are hating on Liv for no reason, and now everyone's a big fan of. It's like,
because her character, her crazy stalker, psychopathic girl, is a good character.
Yes, it is, and it's finally even given the chance to breathe and to be able to do all the things. This revenge tour is a fantastic character for Liv, and I'm excited to see what other shenanigans we're going to get into with her. From here, we get a video package of Seth Rollins, which was really, really great, which then leads us into our next match for the men's Money in the Bank qualifier. We had Braun Strowman versus Chad Gable versus Big Bronson Reed. Literally, you had the two beefy men and Chad Gable, who is no slouch either in the muscles department, but this man is not the size of Braun and Bronson. Like,
Braun and Braun, dude.
I'm not gonna lie, I was expecting one of the big men to win because technically, like, these Money in the Bank ladder matches, there's always gotta be some big powerhouse. But no, Chad Gable manages to pull out the victory because the Judgment Day come out to attack Braun Strowman, which allows Chad to pin Bronson Reed in order to advance. Yo, this men's Money in the Bank ladder match is getting kind of crazy because it's Chad, Jey Uso, Andrade, like Carmelo Hayes, and then we're getting our last SmackDown men's qualifier between LA Knight, Santos, and Logan Paul this Friday. And the next Monday, we have a barn burner for the final spot for the Raw. Like, for the Raw men, it's going to be intense. But let's talk about the important thing. Because as Chad is celebrating the ring, the lights cut out like last week. Chad Gable gets PTSD. The ring begins to fill with fog. And Sister Abigail comes from underneath the ring and starts crawling towards Chad Gable. So Nikki Cross is in this ring. Chad Gable gets the heck out of Dodge. And then Nikki Cross delivers a package to Michael Cole that has a VHS tape in it that says "Play Me." I'm just like, oh my God, what is about to go down tonight? So Michael Cole sends it off to go have someone find a VHS player because it's 2024. And apparently WWE doesn't have VHS players right now, so they got to go to the production truck for this one. If this is how we sporadically use all the members of the Wyatt Six, I am here for it. Just them popping up and being creepy AF.
Dude, Nikki Cross has got that character down.
Yo, I'm so happy that Nikki is being utilized because I know that she was in that like weird wandering around staring off into space phase for the last like 6 months to a year. And I'm just happy that we're utilizing her. And this is so much better than her superhero gimmick. Remember that?
You know, I like the superhero gimmick though.
Low key, I did too.
Because like the Hurricane was awesome. She did a good job.
Yeah, and
Didn't
we
she-
come to
didn't
find
she
out.
Didn't she win a title as a superhero?
Yeah, she won Money in the Bank and she cashed it in.
Yeah, as a superhero. So like she did some good work.
The superhero gimmick, we come to find out later, was her idea, so I can't hate on that. She did the best she could, but yeah, this character is so good for her because it's tapping into what I knew Nikki Cross as when she first came into WWE, when she was part of Sanity in NXT, like the crazy faction. So now we're into this, and I love it. So as the VHS tape is getting found, a VHS player, Chad Gable is backstage, and he meets up with Alpha Academy. Chad Gable tries to be the bigger man because he apologizes to Otis and Maxine and Akira Tozawa. And I am happy that they wrote it this way because Otis is like, bro, I'm sorry for what happened to you, but when I said we're done with you, we're done with you. That's it. So Otis is like, we're done, we're gone. Akira Tozawa follows him. Maxine is the only one who's trying to play peacekeeper. And she's like, look, Otis is upset. You did a lot to him. He just needs some time. Let me try to talk to him and we can fix this. Because Chad needs help because he doesn't want the Wyatt Six to continue to fight him. Then, as Maxine walks back into the locker room, Senior Luchador, we got the tease because who comes to check in with Chad but the Creed brothers and Ivy Nile. So I was like, ooh, there we go.
Give me the super faction.
Give me
the super wrestlers. Give me the super wrestlers.
Yo. If Chad ends up getting with the Creeds and Ivy Nile, like, I'm totally here for this. And you know, I thought there would be a heel faction, but Ascent, who knows? It might still be a heel faction, but it seems that Chad might have found some backup when it comes to the Wyatt Six in case anything goes down with them, because it's crazy. I love it. So then we get into this non-title tag team match. Alba Fire and Isla Dawn have a quick 6-7 minute match with Kaden.
Came out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah, Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. So this was a match that they had. This was not for the title. Alba Fire and Isla Dawn win. This was a standard women's tag team match, which sounds really horrible now that I said it, but division right now is trying to be restructured, so hopefully they'll do something more. And it seems that we might be doing something, because as Alba and Isla are celebrating, Damage Control comes down and they attack the champions. So it seems that we're setting up a feud between, the Hex Girls versus Damage Control in this capacity, which I'm here for, because then it gives Dakota and Kyrie something to do. Well, specifically right now, Kyrie, because she didn't make Money in the Bank. I'm pretty sure that Dakota's not winning her qualifier next week. I'm going to be honest. I think Ivy Nile is going to Money in the Bank next week.
Give us the Power Girl.
Give us the Power Girl. Yes, Ivy Nile is out here, and I'm here for it. But hey, you know what? If that means that Damage Control feuds with the Hex Girls, I'm here for it, because then we can actually build a story with the division.
And actually, you put the tag titles on TV.
Seriously. And just for the future PLEs, Triple H, Paul Levesque, Papa H, try not to put, we didn't have them on the pre-show, but let's try to put these tag titles on the main card. Don't put them on the pre-show. They were on the main card, Clash at the Castle, but you know what I mean. So then they are planting the seeds, Senior Luchador, for this turn, and it's going to be great because Damian goes back to the clubhouse, the Judgment Day clubhouse, to get his title for his next segment with Seth Rollins. Liv Morgan opens the door. She's like, "Hi, Damian." Bye, Damian, as she's eating a chicken nugget. And then I was like, Dom was probably in there. This camera shot was so perfect because they used Damian's large tallness to block the shot. And as Damian walks in, it is not Dominic Mysterio who was in this room with Liv, but Finn Balor.
Playing 2K.
Playing 2K. And I'm just like, oh, this even lands more to the creators that Liv and Finn are working together. So I'm just like,
they're to usurp the Judgment Day.
They're here to usurp the Judgment Day. And Damian starts to get paranoid. He's like, bro, I came in to get this title. What were you doing with Liv? And Finn tries to play it off. It's like, bro, nothing happened. Like, look, Liv is crazy. And it was gaslighting Damian throughout this. But the important things is that Ray and Dom's match gets made in this segment for next week. And then JD and Finn have a World Tag Team Championship match later tonight because of Liv. And I'm just like, yo, Liv and Finn are about to run this group, and I'm here for it. Damian's like, bro, I got to handle my business with Seth, but good luck on your match tonight. Gold is gold. And Finn's like, I'm not going to say no to a championship opportunity. Championship gold is championship gold. Yo, when it turns out that Finn and Liv are the masterminding this whole entire thing, I'm so excited. I cannot wait for it. Well, I mean, since we're talking about Damian and Seth, that rolls into what we got next, because we got some stakes, Senior Luchador, now for this World Heavyweight Championship match.
We did some big stakes.
Like
bigger than porterhouses. Like, these are some big ass stakes.
They not only decided to cook that mofo, they put A1 all over that thing. And they're just like, oh, we're going to flame broil it in front of you. It's like, no.
Yeah, Damian Priest comes out and starts doing like, I respect Seth Rollins, but he ain't never going to take this title. He ain't never going to be back on top. And then, of course, he said Seth Rollins' name more than 3 times. So guess what? Seth Rollins had to come out. Seth Rollins comes out and is like, you're not the real champion. You always need help. And he was like, somebody always got to come out, CM Punk, Judgment Day. And he was like, how about this? We'll put a wager on this little match. If I win... Well, if you win, I will never challenge you for that belt again. If you win, you leave the Judgment Day.
The stakes were crazy enough, and then the next words to come out of Damian Priest's mouth just set him up for betrayal, because he's like, he tells Seth that Damian Priest is fine because the Judgment Day need Damian Priest more than Damian Priest needs the Judgment Day.
He said that before.
He said it before. But now I'm just like, oh, it's about to be on and popping at Money in the Bank. So I raised the question, is this the end of Damian's championship reign at Money in the Bank? Or do we smell shenanigans going down?
Always going to be shenanigans.
That's very fair. Now, I think Liv gets involved at Money in the Bank. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think Damian's walking... Because of this episode of Raw, I don't think Damian's walking out at Money in the Bank as champion.
I think he is. And what I think is going to happen is I think he's going to win, and then he's going to drop the belt to Gunther, and then we're going to get Gunther versus Seth.
Ooh, that would be a good match. Then have Damien.
That's my big booking bubble thing right there.
Yeah. That's tough because I'm like, I don't think Damien's walking out of Money in the Bank as champion, but who knows? Crazier things have happened. So we thought this was over. Oh no, then they decide to flame broil it again because Gunther comes out as these two shake on their agreement for the match at Money in the Bank. And Gunther basically says it's like, it doesn't matter whether it's you, Damien. It doesn't matter whether it's you, Seth. Whoever walks out of Money in the Bank as champion is not going to be the better man than me, and I will see one of you at SummerSlam. And I'm just like, Gunther about to destroy Damien or Seth at SummerSlam. It's about to be on and popping.
Gunther about to be Gunther. Just beat the fuck out of somebody.
You're like, write your wheels right now because it's about to get on. Okay, an hour had passed within the show. Michael Cole looks directly at the camera and says that we finally found a VHS player, so let's play this tape. Senior Lucha don't. I was not prepared for what we saw on this tape.
Like anybody was prepared for it.
Holy sh! Okay, I want to walk through this real quick and then we'll dissect this because Lord have mercy. We here at the Raw Squad don't spend too much time on vignettes and promos unless they're like super astounding. We're going to give this one time because holy crap, this was a promo that I love. But the VHS tapes, shout out to the video editor, whoever put this together, because they made it feel like an actual like found footage VHS tape in 2024 with the way that it sputters and everything. As a child of the 90s, I'm very well of this. As children of the 90s, me and Senior Lucha don't are very aware of VHS tapes and sputtering like that. It's nuts. But we see Uncle Howdy talking about, do you feel lost? How do you feel about the loss? Do you feel that you have been forgotten? Then we get the reveal that Uncle Howdy is interviewing / talking to Bo Dallas of all people. I was just like, oh my God, what is about to go down? When I tell you, Senior Lucha don't, I got chills for how much Bo Dallas sounds and can emulate Bray Wyatt in his manner of speech like this. Holy shit. But Bo basically talks about there is nobody in the world that will understand more than him the pain of losing Bray and the impact that Bray's passing had. And on top of that, he spits some truth. Me and Bray were going to do this together. I wanted to be with him. We were going to rule together. And when we finally got there, Bray was taken away from me. And then everybody else forgot about me and everybody else. So I'm just like, yo, I got chills. And this video ends with Uncle Howdy and Bo just staring at each other as the videotape goes off and we go to commercial. Holy crap, Senior Lucha. I don't even know where to begin.
I don't even know how some people were able to watch it without crying. That was intense.
Yeah, I was just like, when I saw Bo, I was like, okay, I'm interested. And then when Uncle Howdy asked him, it's just like, so how do you feel about the loss of your brother? I'm like, oh, damn, we went there. Holy crap, what's about to go down? I don't care. I'm putting this as like one of my top favorite promos of 2024. Like, holy shit, this was what I wanted.
It was dope.
I don't even know what's next, but if we're going to get something from the Wyatt 6 every single week, I'm here for it. Like,
I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what their plans are, what they're going to do.
I don't know what they're going to do either, but honestly, in a weird way, I'm kind of glad that I don't because it makes me excited to anticipate what's going to come next.
Absolutely.
Make me want to come back and watch Raw every week for lots of reasons, and that is one of them. To see what's next in the chapter, the Wyatt 6. Oh boy. So then we get our obligatory Squatch match of the evening because this is Kofi Kingston versus Karrion Kross. This match doesn't even go like 3 minutes because as soon as this match starts, Kofi definitely gets the upper hand. And then Paul Ellering gets on the half of the Titantron and we see Xavier Woods getting beat up by AOP and Scarlett in the back.
You know, I wonder. This is a 3v2 against a team that normally has 3 people. Could this possibly segue into the return of one Mr. Biggie Langston?
Look, I would love nothing more than that. I don't know if it's possible, or at least have Biggie be there ringside or something. Like, even the odds a little bit.
I miss my boy Biggie.
I know, I love Biggie, man. Yo, during WrestleMania week, his conversation him and Otis had with Otis taking forever to realize it's not Io Shirai, not Shirai, or however you pronounced it. No, Io. He was
The
like,
best is when they were doing the promos for the Hollywood one,
yeah.
and they had Otis do the Silence of the Lamb. That
That
was fantastic.
will be a forever great moment that we got to experience live. But Karrion Kross.
I wasn't there. I saw it on TV.
Oh yeah, that's right, and I told you about it. But Xavier getting beat up in the back was enough of a distraction for Karrion Kross to pin Kofi Kingston. But Karrion's not done because he wants Xavier. He doesn't want Kofi. So now that Kofi has been defeated, there's only one person left. So will we see an Xavier Woods heel turn? Who knows? Stay tuned for Monday Night Raw as we keep you updated. So then we get the recap package. Senior Luchador, even though you don't watch SmackDown, like, you gotta admit, the debut of Jacob Fatu was nuts. Like, holy crap.
He killed everybody. Why is everybody dying?
The Samoan Werewolf destroyed Cody Rhodes, Randall Keith Orton, and Kevin Owens. And Paul Heyman is caught like a lover and a princess stuck in the tower because the weekday, as we call the Solo Sikoa over on SmackDown, and then the Gorillas of Destiny, now with the Samoan Werewolf, Jacob Fatu, are going to hold this man hostage. It's about to get nuts. So this is where, before our main event, we get the obligatory bumpers, where we get, next week we're getting our women's championship match between Liv and Zelina Vega, which should be great. We're getting Ray versus Dominic Mysterio. For some reason, I was like, this is going to be cool. Then I had a pause because I melted in my chair when we found out that the last men's Money in the Bank qualifier was going to be a banger. It's Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre versus Ilya Dragunov. My God.
That is three big, powerful European men beating the fuck out of each other.
And they all know European wrestling, so they're all walking out with bruises and popped blood vessels and just red all over the place. I would love to see Ilya go to Money in the Bank, but I think Drew is actually good. I think Drew might win. But who knows? Crazier things have happened. But it's up.
No, I think Drew's gonna get. I think CM Punk's gonna come back.
Ooh, CM Punk is gonna invade Raw and cost Drew.
CM Punk's gonna cost Drew, and Braun or what's his name is gonna cost Sheamus.
That's also true. Which means, oh man, that means that by default, Ilya is going.
It might be Ilya.
Yo, Ilya in a ladder match is about to get nuts.
Oh, we see what he can do in a multi-person match. It's disgusting.
Me and Minnie have saw what Ilya could do in a multi-person match from Stand and Deliver 2 years ago when he was a part of that fatal five-way for the NXT North American Championship match.
It's the match I was talking about. I watched that match. It's insane.
Oh my gosh. Ilya's about to kill people. It's going to be fun. Which leads us into our main event of the evening. This is a World Tag Team Championship match. It goes on for about 10 minutes. I had an inkling, but I was still shocked that the Judgment Day picked up a victory and Finn and JD.
Especially with JD Big Head McDonough on the team. Normally he loses.
That's also very true because JD has been the man in Judgment Day to always get the pin when they have these multi-person matches with Judgment Day. But our Irish boys of Finn and his protege, JD McDonough, are your new World Tag Team Champions after Liv distracts R-Truth, which allows Finn to hit the coup de grace from the top rope to pick up the victory and the championships for this main event. Holy crap. I'm interested to see what we do with Awesome Truth next.
I don't know. I have no idea.
But man, what a story. JD getting his first main roster championship since being on the roster for almost a year and a half at this point.
Been on the roster for a minute. It's nice to see him actually win something.
Yes, and he gets to do it with literally because anybody who knows wrestling, Finn has trained JD. And so it's like mentee and mentor are now your World Tag Team Champions on Raw. Love it. Fantastic. They celebrate as Monday Night Raw goes off the air. So let's rate this Monday Night Raw. I'm going to give this while not as great as last week's Raw, and that's by a slim margin, I'm giving this a solid 8.5 out of 10. Again, Raw is slowly kind of doing amazing every week, and I'm like, now I'm excited to see what comes next. Even the two like not so fun matches ended up not overstaying their welcome. We're developing storylines for Money in the Bank. Qualifying matches were fantastic. We're building to SummerSlam and also as well. Like just some great wrestling and great talent. So I give this an 8.5 out of 10 empanadas for Monday Night Raw this week.
I'm going to give it an 8. It was the building blocks are very, very good. The storytelling has been fantastic. I wish some matches were a little bit longer, but the building blocks, everything is there. Everything looks good. I'm excited for there's not a single storyline. I'm like, I really don't care about it. Even the Karrion Kross Xavier Woods story, I'm like, I'm interested in it, which is good. This is one of the few times where every storyline, I'm like, I want to see where this goes.
Oh, absolutely. And as of right now, WWE is slowly improving on what I've wanted from them for the longest time, which is like, matches are going to be fun, but let's build some stories. And that's what Raw has been able to do the last month or so. I love to see it. Well, folks, unfortunately, that brings us to the end to this week's Raw Squad review. But I am looking forward to coming back next week to see what Monday Night Raw has in store. And on top of that, it is the go-home show for Monday Night Raw before Money in the Bank, which is next Saturday, which is nuts to think about. But for myself and Senior Luchadont and the rest of the BC WrestlePod squad, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay iconic, but more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. We'll see you for the go-home show for Monday Night Raw next week. But until then, adios, sayonara, catch you on the flip side. Later!
Thank you so much for tuning in to another Vibe Tribe production. What's gonna happen next time? Well, you're gonna have to tune in to find out. But until then, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, and as always, make sure that you keep the good times rolling. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time.